So we're back again. This is Zwift number 83. It's Sunday morning, well, Sunday dinner time, and we're doing the electric brake route again that I completed on Monday. Here it is here, just for your understanding. It's 19.6 kilometres, 203 metres of incline, starting in the Neoko Harbour start pens, taking in the Castle Sprint. Then we head down towards the Pain Cavern in through a descent before doubling back up and climbing back through that Pain Cavern on a mainly uphill finish towards the end. So we had 70 people enroll, 53 went over the start line. Like I said, I did the race with almost 200 riders on Monday night, and I've had a huge amount of views of the video compared to some of my other videos. I think the highest I've ever had in the 83 videos is 255. Well, Zwift 81 from Monday night. Zwift 83 from Monday night has had over 800 views. A massive increase in what's happened previously. So I don't know the main reasons for that, but really pleased. I've had lots of new followers, lots of comments, and one of the comments was based around my cadence. So this was the only reason I wanted to do this race. I came into the race feeling very stiff and sore, which is a regular occurrence at the moment for me, so just wanted to spin the pedals a lot really before joining stage 3 tomorrow in the usual time on a Monday evening. So I wanted to try that out really and get the cadence up around the 85 mark. So you can see here, and you'll probably have seen from the start, that I have done that. Currently my cadence is around the 90. For some reason my heart monitor wasn't playing ball, so wouldn't connect. So just wanted to have a go at doing that cadence, because that was one of the observations that somebody came out with, that I'm only riding at around 70 revolutions per minute, and potentially that's causing my legs to fatigue. So I had a go at this. I joined slightly last minute and wasn't really sorting myself out. There was a few things going on, although I joined the pen about 5 minutes before the race, but was still sorting a few things out. I was actually sorting out Now TV that I had running in the background, which led me to having a slow start. But by this point, at 2.7 kilometres, I've already been dropped by the main riders in the field, a group of around about 30 riders all out in front. So I settled in at this point and just wanted to focus on doing that cadence really, and keeping the revolutions up around 85-90 revolutions per minute. So you can see that I'm sat in with Dee McIntyre and Forrell as well, or Forsell as well, sorry, and just wanted to crack on with them. And mainly we just we were able to pick off a few riders who were dropping off the lead group in front of us. You can see that I'm 41st at the moment. You can see that there's riders by the name of BF and B Goodman who are around about 3 and 5 seconds behind, but predominantly I'm looking ahead, even though I've been dropped by the main field. So just wanted to keep those revolutions and keep those spins. So when I was doing the ride, there wasn't too much focus on sitting in and drafting. It was just constantly keeping up the cadence. So you'll see at times that I go ahead of Dee McIntyre and Forsell. So here's one of those moments here where you can see I'm leading. I actually clicked it down a few gears here, and I was in my lowest gear as we came down the hills, but just wanted, normally I would just completely ease off here, and I'd probably be doing about 150 watts. So just a different approach on this one today. I'm not sure how I will go about competing tomorrow. I know I won't be up with the lead riders, but it is something that I would like to try and improve. But at the same time as increasing my cadence, I did find my heart rate felt as though it was through the roof for most of the race, so that was a struggle that I had to manage. But you can see, as well as McIntyre and Fossell, that the rider by the name of B. Rogers is also getting caught, and also we had B. Korf from Norway, who was slowly getting pulled back in. So yeah, just keeping up with these riders now. We're coming down through to the flat. We're a third of the way through the race, and just want to see how it goes really, and just keep that cadence up. My heart rate had decreased slightly from being really high at the start, probably around about the 160s, 165s, and it probably settled back in by this point. So I wondered whether we'd go past B. Rogers and leave him at this point. His watts per kilogram showed that he wasn't putting that much weight power in as we went past him, but he did stick with us, as did Korf, who's also come along. So there's 5 of us now in this group. The group ahead of us, the main group ahead of us, are around 30 seconds ahead. There's a few little stragglers like Hoyos, who's coming back to us slowly, but yeah, you know, it's okay. And obviously from doing the race on Monday, I was able to see that there could potentially be a different approach to the race. So I felt as though I was going to be able to use that high cadence to manage the second half of the race a little bit better, where we have a lot of inclines. So now we've come up against Hoyos. He's actually stayed with us. He's on the right hand side. I think that's a Colombian flag that he's got there. I might be wrong. But so there's 6 of us now, as we just bombed straight past somebody. They've made an effort to try and catch hold of the back of the group. That's Jay Spearing, I believe. And yeah, he's back with us now. So you can see that there's 7 riders at this point, and we're almost half the way into the race. Still keeping the cadence up. Yeah, it's only around the 70s at the moment, but it will soon increase, and we'll click it back up as the race goes by. So here we are on the flat, just before we start to head back up the hills through the Pagan Cavern. Revolutions per minute, 76 at the moment, but I do drop down a few gears and then try and increase the cadence. You can see it's getting closer. There we go, up into the 80s and 90s, and just wanted to spin the pedals. I was conscious that 2 of the riders, Forsell and Doug McIntyre, they went ahead, and I was thinking, oh dear, I've changed my cadence. My average watts is slightly low. Sorry, my watts are slightly lower than they need to be, and they're going to go away from me. But in actual fact, I was able to carry on, and there was no real distance that was created. You can see here we got another rider, Truvinon, that's we've come up against, and you can see in the mini map in the right hand corner how there's various riders all being separated. But Korf, one of the riders who we caught hold of before, he's pushed ahead, but that 3-second gap that he did have has just come back down to 2, and it looks like we're going to stay with him. I'm making a real big effort to stay with McIntyre and Forsell, James Forsell. I don't think it is James Forsell actually, but certainly Doug McIntyre and Jay Forsell are 2 of the riders just out in front. Korf has made another push now, and yeah, that's just something we're going to have to manage. But you can see there's a couple of riders out in front, Anderson, as well as Jay Killen. That's James Killen, and then Gentleman. You can see there's quite a few of them out in front, so I'm trying to stay on Doug McIntyre's back wheel and Jay Forsell's back wheel, but I can also see that potentially they're just trying to bridge to this group of 4 or 5 riders in front, and you can see that gap's coming down quite quickly to those 4 riders out in front. So let's see what happens when we get to when Fussell and McIntyre get to that group of 4. One of my thoughts was that when they became a 6 rather than a 4, they'd be able to increase their draft, and those 6 would then make a further push to try and get away from me, so I was quite conscious of that. But you can see that Fussell and McIntyre have gone past this group of 4, you know, whether they are working hard to try and catch hold of them didn't seem to be the case. You can see that physically the gap looks as though it's getting slightly smaller, and as we come up over the top, I get up at the saddle and just put a little bit of extra power in, just so that I can bridge with these 4. But my heart rate, although it's not showing up on the screen for the reasons I said before, my heart rate is right up there now, so rather than trying to continue with the high cadence, I just have to ease off at this point. You can see my watts is right down by 150. I've also hit my drafting boost because I just need to take a breather at this point. So much so that the actual 4 of them start momentarily going away from me, but I am able to stay back with them. So I'm in with these 4 now who I've not seen all race. They've come back from the front group. So this is CS, and then Anderson, and then Gentleman, and then Nielsen, sorry. Who's the 4th one? Jay Killen. So I'm riding with those riders now. Al Hong, he's 6 seconds back, but he's coming up nice and quick as well. He's working hard. So we're up over the first uphill of the race that took us back through the Payne Cavern, and we've got 6.4 kilometres to go. There's a brief break in proceedings regarding inclines whilst we go along this flatter section for a couple of kilometres, but there goes Hong. I don't think I even realised whilst I was doing the race that he'd gone past, because I was aware when I was doing the race that he was a good 15-20 seconds back at one point, but he's just gone straight past us. It has made the rest of the group push a little bit harder, but El Hong's now gone, and you can see that McIntyre and Fussell, they're 20 seconds ahead now. They've joined up with a few of the riders. So now that Hong's gone past us, the next nearest rider to us, B. Goodman, he's a minute back. So 38th position looks like the minimum I'm going to get in this race, which isn't spectacular, but just a reference point really. So now we'll go through some of the rest of the riders and see where the splits are in the race. This is the front group being led currently by C. Rawlinson, which is Cara Rawlinson, and there's around about 12 riders I think in this front group. Yeah, there's 14th position, so 13 riders in that front group at the moment, with I think they had about 2 kilometres to go at that point, 2.5, 3 kilometres to go. So back to myself, back riding with CS and Killen and Anderson and Gentleman. You can see Fussell 30 seconds ahead, riding with a couple of others, which includes Doug McIntyre and A. Nielsen as well. So just building up for this final incline to the finish line now, with 4 kilometres to go. And I was actually surprised because when I was doing the race I didn't realise that it was so close to the finish line, and obviously I know we're doing this in double time, but I felt quite good that we were only 4 kilometres away from the finish line. Heart rate was reasonable at this point, but you can see that my average watts is low at 217. I'm still easing off, but again, another reference to the fact that I'm trying to do that high cadence, but not too worried about drafting, not too worried about the amount of watts I'm producing, but just having a go at doing that high cadence. So now we've got 3.6 kilometres to go. I think the main kick up on the incline starts with around about 2.5 kilometres to go. So just at this point, just going back to see how things are changing at the front. So here's a group that now consists of 9 riders, I believe. It does say that Roulotte is in 9th position, but I think there was one more rider there, so there may have been 10 at this point. But back to myself, I've not lost any time or position whilst filming the leaders. We've got 3 kilometres to go. I put a little bit of a spurt on going up that incline there, so much so that I actually distanced myself from the 4 riders who I'm riding with. Goodman's brought the gap back to 40 seconds from over a minute, so that's pleasing for him. He's putting in a good push. But here we are through the rest of the groups to the front group, and in that front group I think we've just got 7 or 8 riders now. So we followed J. George for a while, Jean-Fran George, just so that I can just concentrate. So he's pushing hard up in 3rd position. Their average watts are really starting to ramp up now as they go close to the last half kilometre in the race. You can see that there he just popped 5 watts per kilogram, and then he's been passed by Sugo, and who's gone into 3rd. But so I could see that George was just dropping off slightly, so I thought I would go and sit with the front rider S. Hund, who is Sven Hund, but he gets passed at the end by Kasumasa Sugo. Here he is going around the corner. Then we go back to Peter Koller, who ended up finishing in 3rd. Then back to Jean-Fran George, who we know finished in 5th. Then back to Kelly, who finished a couple of places further back in 7th. Then we've got Ed Darnges, who came over in 9th. Coming up over the line, he's got Gwendal Roulotte just following him up to the finish. But then we go a little bit further. Oh, I tried to go back to a few of the riders, so there was the Hinch. So then we just move slowly back through the field. There's Bono, who's riding alongside Reek, who you can see just in front of him, and they're putting plenty of power down towards the finish line. Then back to Paul, and I won't try and pronounce the person who is riding just ahead of him by a second. N. Barnes Kiss, I think I'd missed out, so I try and jump back to him. There he is, coming over the line in 13th position. Hopefully he's the next one who's coming up to the finish line, and the rider in 14th position is currently 8 seconds back, so he's not going to catch him. So I just concentrated on M. Barnes. Sorry, I don't know why I'm calling him M. Barnes when it could just simply be M. Barnes from the KISS team. There he goes, finish over the finish line. Then we have Flo Muchierbedrigriff. Why on earth you've got that as a username, I don't know, but hey ho. So then moving back to 18th position, we've got Iruxi, who's got nobody really around him. M. Turner back in 21st position, so I've missed a couple of riders out like E. Finley and somebody from the coalition team just ahead of them. And by this point I can see that my name is on the positions a minute and 55 seconds back, so I'm quite pleased with how I've climbed. I've not been able to focus properly on any of the little inclines and things and the flat areas that there are on this uphill section to finish, but felt quite good. But I was keeping an eye on the fact that I was had James Killen quite close behind me, so I wanted to try and keep him at a distance. You can see that he's 5 seconds back at the moment. Fellow Welshman, a Wareham there, or Wareham I would imagine, coming over the line in 25th position with nobody within touching distance. There's El Hong, who I mentioned earlier on, who was riding alongside myself but went bombing past. Then we've got Jay Forsell, who we did see going past me when he was riding with McIntyre. Then we've got N. Weckham from, he's got a Swedish flag with him, coming over the line in 28th position. Then next to him we've got S. Simon, just a couple of seconds back. There's McIntyre, Doug McIntyre. Then back to M Foster, riding along in 31st position, and not too many more riders until we go back to myself. Here's M Foster in 31st position. Is he around the 50 years of age, with it having 76 by his username? I'm not sure. Following M Foster, 76 up to the line, just a couple of seconds behind, you can see in the distance, is Aid Nielsen, but he's not making enough of an impact to try and catch him. Here's Aid Nielsen. Then he's got N Lamont from Ireland, who's about 5 seconds behind him, 4 seconds behind him. Then myself, but noticing here that Lamont, I don't know whether he did this so he could get on one of my videos, which was an interesting concept. That was my first initial thought when I see that he stopped, but he did then carry on, so that I wasn't able to finish close to him. But you can see that James Killen, he's gone past me. That 5 second gap's gone, as has Anderson. I'm not sure what the gap was with Anderson. He was one of the 5 riders I was riding along with CS, so I've been able to distance myself from a few of them, but James Killen and Anderson, they've gone off ahead, and I ended up finishing in 36th position, which, you know, was nothing special, but at least I put the video out there and at least some people will have enjoyed it. So can't imagine that we're going to get to the dizzy heights of 800 views for this video, but I just put it out there, and we'll see how we get on. But the main one will be tomorrow night, the 10 past 5 race. So yeah, just keep your eye out on that. I don't know how many people are going to enter the stage 3, but here's the top 10. In first place, Kasamusa Sugo in 31 minutes and 56 seconds. Second is Sven Hund, followed by Peter Kohler in third position. Then we have Cara Rawson, who was leading. You saw that in the video before some of the other riders went past. Then we've got Jean-Fran George in 5th position, followed by 6th Luke Rayner. 7th is Kelly. 8th is the Hinch. 9th was Ed Guess. And in 10th position we had Gwendal Roulet. So yeah, there's all the top 10. I will have a quick discussion about myself. I was a bit slower than the other day, but hopefully a few more people will follow. But like I said, keep an eye out for tomorrow, 10 past 5 race, stage 3, and hopefully you'll join that race and get on the next video. But I'll just go through my stats compared to the other race now. So today I finished in 36 minutes and 46 seconds, averaging 216 watts, which is only 2.3 watts per kilogram. My Zwift racing score dropped by 1, and that means that I was 2.5 minutes slower today than I was on Monday night, but that might just be partly because of the huge group and the large drafting effect that will have. That said, obviously my average watts was considerably lower as well, so I'm not just saying it's the draft, because I averaged 231 watts the other day, so you can see, yeah, 15 down from the other day. So just working on a few things really. I need to get on the bike more often. I need to be riding about 3-4 times a week, so I will attempt to also do that, as well as take on board the comment in regards to cadence. So by looking to work on the cadence and increase the cadence, and also to get on the bike 3 or 4 times next week and in the coming weeks, let's see if that has an impact on my performance. So right, I will catch you again tomorrow night for stage 3 of Zwift Unblocked. I'll be joined at 5:13, and hopefully you'll be alongside, and maybe there'll be over 200 riders and plenty of people following the video again, which has been absolutely amazing. So cheers, thank you, catch you soon, bye bye.